You just got paid. Your account shows a nice fat deposit, and for about 45 seconds you feel rich. Then you remember you have rent due in 2 weeks, your car insurance is coming up, your friend's birthday dinner is this weekend, and oh yeah, you're supposed to be investing in your future or whatever. So you sit there, scrolling through your banking app, and you think, how am I supposed to split this money? And somewhere in the back of your mind, you remember reading about that 50-30-20 rule everyone talks about. 50% for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings. Sounds simple enough, right? Here's the problem. You follow it perfectly, and somehow you're still broke at the end of the month. If that's literally you, stick around. My name's Frank, and I spend way too much time researching about financial success and education. If you're someone who cares about his income and financial stability, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's the thing about the 50-30-20 rule. It's been passed around so much that people treat it like gospel. Financial gurus preach it, personal finance websites recommend it, and it sounds perfect in theory. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually made that work? Look, I'm not trying to throw shade at the people who created that framework, but what I am going to do is point out something that literally nobody talks about. The 50-30-20 rule was designed for a middle-class household earning approximately $75,000 a year back in 2005. The original research by Elizabeth Warren, yes, the senator, was based on a very specific economic reality, and we're not living in that reality anymore. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American household spends about 33% of their income on housing alone. That's just one category. Add utilities, transportation, food, and insurance to needs, and you're already hitting 60 to 70% before you even think about scrolling through TikTok or buying that coffee. For anyone living in major cities or dealing with student loans, it gets worse. Here's what most people don't realize. The reason 50-30-20 fails isn't because you're bad with money. It's because the rule assumes your expenses are flexible when they're actually rigid. Your rent doesn't care about percentages. Your car payment isn't negotiated based on what you want to spend. But the rule treats needs and wants as if they're equally controllable, and that's where it falls apart psychologically. This is where it gets really interesting. When you can't hit the percentages, you feel like a failure. You blame yourself. You think you're bad at budgeting. And that shame actually makes you worse with money because you stop trying. You throw up your hands and decide that budgeting doesn't work, so you might as well just spend whatever. It's a psychological trap built into a system that doesn't match your reality. So here's what actually works instead. I call it the priority-based system, and it's stupidly simple once you understand it. Instead of forcing yourself into 3 rigid buckets, you're going to rank your money based on survival priority. Tier 1 is everything that without it, your life falls apart in weeks. Tier 2 is everything that hurts if you don't do it, but you can survive short-term without it. Tier 3 is everything else. Let me give you an example with real numbers. Say you make $4,000 a month after taxes. Tier 1, the non-negotiables, rent $1,200, utilities $180, minimum insurance and transportation to get to work $350, minimum food to not starve $400. Total $2,130. That's 53% of your income. But here's the key. You can't reduce this without destroying your life, so stop trying. Tier 2, the important stuff. Student loan payments, $250, building an emergency fund, $300, phone bill and basic internet, $100, minimum healthcare prevention, $100. Total, $750. That's another 19%. You're at 72% and you haven't blown a dollar on anything fun. So you have $1,098 left, and here's where the magic happens. Now, you might be thinking, Frank, that leaves me with basically nothing. And yeah, if you're just barely getting by, that's the harsh truth. But that's not actually the point of this system. The point is that you're not pretending you have flexibility where you don't. With that remaining money, you get to decide strategically. You could take that $1,098 and split it into entertainment and social life, $400, upgrading your food quality or eating out, $300, savings and investing, $250, miscellaneous and buffer, $148. But here's the psychological shift. You're not cheating a system anymore. You're making conscious choices with the money that's actually available. Some months you might put $400 towards savings instead of entertainment because you realize something matters more. That flexibility within conscious boundaries actually works. Here's what you do starting today. First, calculate your actual Tier 1 expenses, the stuff where reality doesn't negotiate. Write them down. Don't budget them, acknowledge them. Second, identify Tier 2, the investments in your future and stability that matter. Third, take whatever's left and be intentional about it instead of guilty about it. That's it. No spreadsheet needs to look perfect, no guilt required. The reason most people fail with money isn't because they lack discipline, it's because they're trying to force their actual life into a system designed for someone else's life. The 50-30-20 rule was built for a different era, a different income, and a different reality. You deserve a framework that actually acknowledges how money works in 2026, where housing costs are insane, where unexpected expenses are constant, and where you shouldn't feel broken for just trying to survive. So apply this today. See what your real Tier 1 looks like, and stop hating yourself for the money you're spending on staying alive. If this actually helps you rethink your finances, subscribe and hit that thumbs up, and let me know in the comments what your biggest expense surprise was when you actually did the math. Thanks for watching.